minimum of 4 games, might see a little bit of a dub action. Capable Quinn, Charlord, Grim, Reaper, O-Ring, and PP and AJ here for the side. Mr. Wildcats now on North School. Vipsy, Rivas, North, Demon King, Jaden, and LT Lito, henceforth referred to as Lito. We got North Esports, a couple other members here for the Wichita North squad. Ooh, Demon King Hades sending in a fast one, but it's going to be a slow one from Jaden. That's going to be the first to score here in this matchup.
It's already looking like a pretty even matchup, at least a little bit closer than the last series was. I'm hoping we see a Game 7 here, potentially.
Love to see that. 26 seconds into this game, numero uno, Wichita North going to be able to strike first. Based on what we've seen so far, any changes either team needs to make?
Doesn't look like it so far. It looks like the Wildcats are having a bit of some maybe first game jitters or nerves coming out. They might need to tighten up a little bit here, but as I said last series, everybody needs a warm-up game. They'll get into their groove here coming up pretty soon.
Yep, it is what Midwest believe it to be about 4:12 right there. So some of these guys, some of these kids, excuse me, it might be just getting out of school recently. Might be their first game on. You know, maybe not some warm-ups. Who knows? Who knows? Again, they do not know exactly who it is that they are playing on the day. Right? They come in, they get paired up with other teams that are ready at the time. Now it is spring break. There's other priorities school-wise. Grades always important. BD and AJ though, tying this one up. 1 minute and 15 seconds into this game number 1.
That's a really nice shot, just right over Jaden there. He couldn't get back to the ball quite fast enough. It was a good setup from Shire Lord. It looks like it's going to be a pretty even series here, hopefully.
This is what we saw at the beginning of Game 2, Summit and Wilfred earlier. That turned into anything but a even-sided game. Nice takeaway. There you go. So the Wildcats now going to come forth. Grab this lead back by the reins. Love to see it.
That was a really good beat from Orang there. That was just over both of them. There's not much they can do. The third is rotating back. He's not in net. That's going to be a good beat wide open net.
That's a good point. Is that Orange? Is it Orang?
Yeah.
Is it O-Rang? Who knows? Who knows?
I think I like O-Rang the best.
O-Rang? Like, who rang O-Rang? I don't know. I don't know. Demon King Hades has been a thorn in the side of the Wildcats thus far. Even just the one score on board they got, setting this one up earlier. Now the Wichita North squad going to be running this one down mid. Hades, nice stop. BDN, even better takeaway though.
Unfortunate. The ball's going to go a little high. It looks like it's been pretty even ball possession so far this game. It's looking pretty back and forth so far. Lots of defensive rotations are coming through. It looks really solid on both teams. I think this is going to be, I've said it a million times already, I think it's going to be a pretty good games here. Pretty solid series.
Yeah, well, we've talked about our anticipations and whatnot. As far as play on the day, man, it seems that we're talking about play on the day, right? Seems like Hades is having a little bit of trouble getting this ball like a little bit lower, right? Just putting a little bit too much mustard on those hot dogs.
He is getting a little carried away with it, it seems like. He just needs to hit a little easier, and he'll have a little bit more success here, it looks like. But hopefully they can pull it back here and tie the game up.
Still, yeah, and we wanted even-handed Rocket League. Seems like we're getting that one as of right now. Hades running this one down bottom. Nice little stop right there. No, that was actually a Wildcat member that made that stop. So now the continued pressure from the Wichita North High School. Google is telling me there's the Red Hawks. That's what I'm going to go with until I'm told otherwise. So somebody grabs me and screams in my face, and I'm just a fool, and I never should have said that. 2-2, though. It's Wichita North. Again, Red Hawks, according to Google, going to be tying up the series.
That was a good shot. Just somebody jumping too late and another one already up. That's how the last goal got scored. Sorry, not the last goal. The one Orang put in. It's going to be a nice little touch. It's going to be a good beat. What's
nice
going on
touch,
here?
better beat. See how this one goes. That's the outside. Hades. Uncharacteristic whiff right there, actually. It's the Red Hawks. Jaden right there off the backboard. A little bit of rebound action. That's Hades actually finding a good one. O-Rang reads this one perfectly and stops that one from getting disastrous.
And it looks like we have got the Plat car right there, which is beautiful coming from Shire Lord there. He's got Plat decal, Plat rewards for the last couple of
Oh yeah,
seasons. He's whipping those out for us today.
love it, love it.
Which
Flashy,
MO?
little flashy play, right? A little flashy action. I like it. 60 seconds here, but it's totally tied up. This is still anybody's game here, Squillis.
Absolutely.
Back and forth we go. Where we stop, I do not know. Now fully 60 seconds is AJ. Gonna be, that's like a decently centering play. Shire Lord actually played that about as well as they could.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely good for his teammate there. I just don't think anyone's up with him. These teams are, I said earlier, playing very defensively, but in turn they're not playing very offensively. They're leaving two back a lot of the time, and too far back as well. Both of them are really far, kind of goal line almost, where they could be probably hanging out closer to mid, around mid boost, trying to support their team play a little bit.
Sorry, talking about the rotations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the issue. Remain the thorn in the side of the Rams earlier. Rotational, trying to cheat up a little bit more, trying to purchase space. And you really ain't got possession quite yet. A lot of pressure right now. Hades. Talk about thorns in the sides. Nicely done. Little pass to North Esports, but it's AJ from down bottom. I'll throw a savior cap on top of that one. Looks like we might be going to overtime, Squillis.
BDN, I think, just bought his team OT there and the chance to bring this one back. That was a beautiful, beautiful save. I was sure that was in.
Yeah, I love it right here. That's going to be the first overtime we've seen on broadcast today. Oh, AJ, nice stop. Last player back, had to get it done, and they do. North Esports running it down right side. That's going to be a decently centered shot, but only one player able to even play it, and that's a Wichita North player that's all the way back on the other side. Nothing doing right there. AJ, solid hit. North Esports. It's kind of just, I'm just going to call this player North because I think that's going to get confusing otherwise.
Yeah. And right there, what I was talking about earlier with someone hanging too far back, that was Shire Lord all the way on the back line, kind of waiting for the shot, but there wasn't a shot. The ball bounced. He backflipped. He still had possession. They're playing real passive. Beautiful angle.
Wow,
BDN is showing up at the latter half of this game.
Nicely done. Nicely done. That's just a perfect cutaway right here from AJ. 3-2 is the way the game one is going to go. The Wildcats going to be able to take a slight edge over the Redhawks, but hey, as we know, this is going to be a really long series. Taking a look at the numbers, Mason. Worcester actually going to be able to come through, take this game one with 5 shots on top versus 11 on the other side. Wichita actually doubling up right there. But then we really delve into it. I think we see why. 7 total saves versus the 1 for Wichita.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty one-sided there on defense, which is what I was saying earlier. That was Worcester, for the most part, hanging back on defense a lot more and not really pushing up, going for challenges, 50 shots, stuff like that. So it paid off for him. It's not really a conventional strategy, but it's working for him. So keep going, I guess.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke. That's what we'd say back home in South Carolina. Let's look at this game number 2. Do we have any predictions at this point? I think it's kind of harder to make predictions given that we are getting teams so immediately, kind of which teams can play like at that time. But if we're looking at that, I think that Worcester kind of showed us like numerically why they would have an edge in the rest of the series.
I think also BDN kind of is warmed up now. I think he's feeling himself a lot more than he was at the beginning of that last game. He had that last second save. He had the other save in overtime. He had the shot to finish overtime. He definitely showed up in the last half of that game. I think this might go to the Wildcats here.
Would not be surprised. Hades down bottom. I think the Redhawks are kind of giving the Wildcats like a lot more space than they're really not like owed, but at least that they're taking. Like the Wildcats are just taking free space, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think both teams are. Both teams are getting a lot more room than they probably should. I think there's just a lot of hesitance and confidence issues coming from both teams, which is not super uncommon, especially early in a series like this. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, nice little cut right up front. This Redhawks squad, the Wichita North squad, came into this game number 2 after a little bit of overtime action, unfortunately. But then now take the first 50-second goal or so into this one. I mean, we really haven't even seen a lead of 2 so far in this series, have we?
No, we haven't yet. It's been up by 1 or tied so far. See what's
Yeah,
happening.
so continues to be incredibly close. Up close and personal. Speaking of Hades, that goes up for it, but that's actually going to be AJ starting a Wildcat offense. I can't think of a good
That's
football joke off the Wildcat offense set phrase, but okay.
Now here's what I'm talking about again with the defensive rotations. You never want your car to be in reverse, really, at any time during a Rocket League game. Shire Lord, I mean, he could have jumped there early and even just put a little bit of pressure on that guy who was in the air. Just try to knock the ball loose or whatever, just to give his team some time to get back, get in position, and get ready, because he already had one behind. And it's just stuff like that that's going to really, I think, be the decider of this game.
Yeah, I also got to say, 4 total scores in regular time, game number 1, obviously the 5th coming in OT. This is a pretty low-scoring game as well, so this is really going to be anybody's world that they can play and create of their own. Nice redirect. That was Shire Lord. It's always a good play to force the hand of defenses, right?
For sure, yeah. Putting as much pressure as you can on a defense will lead to that defense cracking and you being able to put a shot in, get a lead, whatever. Definitely giving up the ball to the offense is never what you want to do. So you try to keep that pressure as long as you possibly can.
Forcing defenders to flip into your shots, even if they're weaker, even if they're not going to frequently be made in. It's going to be enough. Now, we're going to be running this one down until Hades gets that taken away. Wow, Orang actually just kind of creating an offense out of nothing right here. The Wildcats now past halftime, 30 seconds. This is going to be a shutout situation. Orang down bottom. Okay, the game kind of lagged right there. I don't even know how this just happened.
This was BD and AJ down to Demon King, who kind of centered it into Orang, back into Jadon, into Orang again into the net. It's just a 50 into the corner.
Wow, yeah. Little breakdown action right there. We're going to be down bottom. Just like that. Wichita. Okay. Okay. And unlike the scoreline earlier, let the let this game be tied for, 5 seconds. 11 seconds of actual time, right?
Yeah, that's just a example of an unfortunate rotation there where Shire Lord was trying to get to back post, which is what you do when you're defensively rotating, which was smart, but he went ball side rotation, which is when the ball is vertically on one half, you go the other half to stay out of the way of the play so that you don't cut off your teammates, which is exactly what just happened there. So if he had come out and gone around and then gone back, that ball probably would not have gone in because BDN had a pretty convincing clear on that.
There's those really, really definitive clears that set up the offensive opportunities the other way. Where most of these goals so far have come from. Speaking of Jaden, pressure on, but hey, pressure creates diamonds, Squillis. Jaden is not
shook. Always said.
Not shook
he
whatsoever.
Does get a beautiful clear there. He's gonna put a shot on. Oh, he almost puts a shot on that. It was close. He almost put that diamond into a ring there and gave it to somebody.
.60 seconds right here. Jadon, that's going to be a decent pass. Shire Lord reads this perfectly. And again, sends this screaming the other way. Both of these teams, I mean, this ball just really is not spending a whole lot of time in mid-pitch. Whenever there's going to be a shot like that, it is an immediate stop and then a clear all the way out, offensive the other way, and the other team immediately just snaps to rotation, all in there, all 3 players back on the defense. As part of the reason why this has yielded such a close game so far. Back flip to it, Jaden. That was a little bit of a double commit right there. O-Ring is there, but as is AJ. AJ looking to get a better stop. No, it's Jaden, and now this lead finally increased to 2.
And I think this touch from O-Ring is what sold it. He could have put that corner. He could have put it even further up. He just got an unfortunate touch off the top of his car, and Jaden was right there to punish him for it.
Hades wins the kickoff and is a little bit kind of pensive to get back to this one. We're on the cusp of a tie game here. The insurance goal has been purchased. Geico, Progressive. Little State Farm action with Jake, right? Insurance gold purchase. They got to get this right now. Not going to happen. So this 0-0 situation might yield a 4-1 scoreline, might yield a 3-2 scoreline. It's going to stay at 3-1. And the Redhawks, going to be putting down the Wildcats. Wildcats able to swipe at them at the sky. And game number 1, the Wildcats come diving back. 6 total shots right here, and keeping Shirelord just to saves on the points total right here. That's definitely the reason why Wildcats not just won, but won by 2. This many.
For sure, yeah. I think, like I was saying, just rotation stuff. It's going to come down to a lot of being more militant, being more careful about your rotations. We saw basically what was an own goal with Shire Lord being too close to the back line, taking ADN's clear and putting it back top center for, I believe it was Hades King who put it away. But that kind of stuff is just purely rotational.
It's purely rotational, people. It's just about the circle at 360 degrees. Which way do you go whenever your offense is continuing to take pressure, make plays, end up with passes, or obviously the flip side, they're pressure defensively. You just got to get back to be a body on a wall right there. Be a body
Exactly.
on the wall. But hey, to quote a few good men, you need us on that wall. You need us on that wall.
Back wall is definitely a
I
very,
can't
very
remember the rest of the
strong.
quote, honestly. I wish I could. I'm not gonna look it up. I think that'd be cheating. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm definitely dating myself a little bit with quoting a few good men, but like, that's okay.
I have truthfully not seen it. I was a bit surprised I got your Zach
Jesus.
Galifianakis Hangover
That's fair.
reference.
That's fair. That movie might be older than you are here, Squillis.
It might be. I'm not 100% certain.
2004, I think.
Oh, I'm 2003, so I have a beat.
Wow. Okay, so we got 1 year in there over the Hangover.
And that's how really everyone measures their age now. So
Oh yes, that's a very good point, right?
how many
Hey,
hangovers?
where are you? Are
old
you pre-Hangover era? Are you Hangover 1, Hangover 2? You know.
I think that should be the new
That's
unit
funny.
for sure.
Exactly. There was BC way back in the day. That's outdated, guys. AD now. Nope. I mean AH after or AHP1 after Hangover Part 1. I don't know. Let's get into this one. These two teams are fighting it so evenly. You know, they don't deserve to be riddled with our crappy movie takes from the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
Hades.
I think we'd be doing a disservice.
Disservice indeed. I think they'd actually be taking our pay at that point, you know? Okay. Let's get away from this one. Wichita North down bottom. Hades, actually. Once again, okay, so let's just break down the couple of last offensive plays we've seen from Hades. That's 3 touches in a row right now that Hades, just completely gives up. The first was an attempted pass 2. The second was an attempted pass away. The third one was an attempted clear off of backboard. And yes, Wichita North's other 2 players were right there, and this is kind of like a triple commit. But yeah, no, 3 in a row right there.
It's just a mechanical failure. It could be he just maybe isn't as high ranked as some of the teams that we'll see, like the teams we saw last time. Just doesn't have this. It's sometimes just as simple as not enough time played, and these are all high school students. They all are full-time students. I'm assuming they could be online, whatever. But it's tough sometimes to find time to hop on for several hours a day and go into free play.
Oh, what's the copy pasta like? Dropping out of school to play Rocket League. Don't care what my haters say. You know what tweet I'm talking about?
I don't off the top of my head, but it sounds.
It's a great copy pasta.
It sounds like something I've probably seen in a RLCS Twitch chat.
Yes, 100%. 100%. It has been recreated and memed 10,000 different ways since. I'm 100% here for it. 15 seconds away. Hey guys, if you have your own favorite pastas and they are appropriate for the high school level, that is very important. And feel free to fill up that Twitch chat. Feel free to fill up the Twitch chat. We haven't really interacted with you guys whatsoever, but hey, that makes sense. That makes sense. Risky, what's up? What's up? Past half time. Demon King Hades had a little bit of issues with kind of shot control, we'll call it. That's a big booming shot. Hades once again. That's on point. Ooh, but again, off the nose of Hades, so perhaps that's going to kind of be back to our central problem. That was just kind of positioning. Again, 360 degrees, right?
I think everything I've seen so far from both these teams, despite, like, not everyone on the field being able to do a quadruple, flip reset, musty double tap, whatever, is just coming down to rotations, positioning, like some maybe even communication issues, stuff like that.
Communications is important in your real life relationships. It's important in Rocket League. It's thematical. There's life lessons being taught here, Squillis.
But I think it's fair to say that communication is more important in Rocket League than real life relationships.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Exactly. Exactly. Priorities again. Priorities again. We're messing around, of course. We're messing around. We're looking at this ball mid-pitch. Edie and AJ gonna be able to get it there, but then actually gets demoed further efforts on the backside. 60 seconds to go right here. Shire Lord. Actually, that could have been a beautiful open up type situation here, Squillis.
Yeah, for sure. And we're still seeing a lot of Wildcat pressure here. I'm looking for the third. It's just not far enough up, like I was saying earlier. They're just playing very, very passively, which has been working for him this game. Didn't really pay off super well last game. It was a 3-1 finisher, but it's held 1-0. It's just a risky. It's just gambling kind of with playing as passive as they are. You either hold a 1-0 for the whole game or you lose 3-1.
Saw a 5-score game in Game 1, a 4-score game in Game 2. Now staring down the barrel of a 1-0, a single breadstick and a lonely donut. A 1 and a 0 here. So far, Wichita North putting up that goose egg thus far. Shot down bottom. Shirelord and AJ both going to beat feet to the left side right here, leaving this net relatively open. Jadon shot over. No! Orang is going to be there. That's another centered shot, but nobody on the side of Wichita North to keep it up. Now, triple zeros still got it. Will we see another overtime? This is yet to be seen. North Esports has been able to pick up that big boost on the way. Hades, no, just watches this one, and it's going to be a 1-0 game in game number 3.
It's just that passive play style. You either, like I was saying, you hold a 1-0 for 5 minutes, or you lose 3-1. Or I mean, they were playing like this the first game, and it went wired, like it was just on the wire. It's a very, very close matchups. You will, or sorry, not matchup scores. You'll see when people are playing as passive as the Wildcats have been.
I'll call them the Wildcats for no reason right here. Witster, the Wildcats going to be able to take second game in a row right here. The first real lead we've seen in the series. You know, it goes. Oh wait, no, hang on.
It was
Yes, no, not in a row, not in a row. Excuse me. Over OT in game number 1, 3-2 for the Worcester Wildcats, bringing it back with a 1-3 loss, which is definitely gonna be a little bit of a better feeling than getting 1-0, right? Again, nothing doing. That first goal came decently early too.
it was 1-0 for 90% of the match. It was a slower match for both teams for sure.
See how this one goes. We've done purchase ourselves a little bit extra Rocket League, regardless though. You know,
Got at least 5.
best of 7. I'm sorry.
So we got at least 5.
Yeah, at least 5. Wichita North takes this one. They will be looking at a lot more than that. AJ,
can only hope.
left side. Sorry?
I'm saying we can only hope.
Yeah, I mean, it was a relatively quicker series previously. This one, absolutely getting at it. That's Demon King Hades. Nicely done. The issues that Wichita North player had in that game number 3 in the rearview mirror. It no longer exists. Fantastic shot, right? And also, given that Charlord is on the other side, and this was not like an open net necessarily. If there's another issue that they've had earlier with like hitting this way too high or way too high is blocked by top bar, way too low is blocked by Charlord.
Right, yeah, it was really good placement, and it comes back to what we were saying earlier. They just overwhelm the defense with enough shots to kind of pepper them until one goes in, like they just did here again.
That's brutal, dude. So Wichita just spent 5 minutes with no scores on the board. Not for lack of trying, but again, no scores. Hades actually kind of gets granted this one. Charlord doesn't even jump up to it, kind of assuming, I guess, they wouldn't have had it. Regardless, 2-0 lead for Wichita, and that's the biggest lead that they have enjoyed in quite a while. 2 games.
It's going to be another shot on net. It's just a lot more. It seems like maybe some in between the game coaching has kind of tightened them up and realized that we should be peppering the goal a lot more than we are. Break through that defense.
Working through the defense, we'll have to be seen here for the Wildcats. Another shot on over. These clears against them is really just spelled so far. Not a whole lot of offensive opportunity for the Wildcats.
It's going to be center. Oh, good clear by Jaden. He's going to take it all the way down the field by himself.
Well, let's check this out. Officially dropped out of high school, putting my all into Rocket League. Call me dumb, I don't care. Gonna turn my reality into a dream. That's the copy pasta. Thank you so much for sticking around, Risky. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, that is the one that I'm talking about. And yeah, and collegiate, collegiate esports should be the next level, the next thing that these high school players have their sights on if they so choose, right? Plenty of these high school players are going to be playing traditional sports, going to be playing other esports. They're going to have other interests, and some of them, guaranteed, going to be starting with an undergraduate, might be having that postgraduate like in their minds and whatnot. And individual players, not everybody can go forth, do graduate programs, doctorate level programs, laureate programs here, Squillis, as well as handling a full Rocket League competitive schedule. So if it's something that interests you folks, there's plenty of options out there. I'll just say that. Big shout out to high school esports for kind of setting up this generation of esports players before the collegiate scene comes in. Back on into the action, though, here, Squillis. Halftime now. Wichita North, again, found 2 scores in the first, 20 seconds or so. And then nothing after that, or since then, I should say. And nothing earlier one, right?
Right, yeah. And this has been a very, very Wichita-sided game so far. We've seen the ball on their side of the court for maybe 30 seconds of 3 minutes, I mean. And it's just because they're playing too passive. They're not getting aggressive enough. They kind of rely on that go up by 1, hold it for the rest of the game type thing, or one person solo play against all 3 opponents. And it's just not really paying off for them against Wichita.
It really isn't. Any other changes we're going to be looking at here for the Wildcats to really just kind of take this game right back? That's a decent defensive stop, but I really just want to see what the Wildcats are going to do on offense. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Whew. That is kind of the problem with the Wildcat offense, is it's usually just a Wildcat and not the Wildcats, and they're just leaving one guy up to kind of do all the hard work while the other 2 sit back and wait for the ball to come to him again.
75 seconds left in this one. Can't be waiting for nothing. Not just going to drop out of the sky here. Shot over. Nicely done, North. Looking for the third. Jadon, that's way too far outside, but hey, this is still good passes and passes in to at least attempted points. I like it. Plays like this. Also, it's worth noting, going to be burning, 5-10 seconds, something like this, out of this time clock here in game number 4.
Ooh.
This is just kind of this is almost getting to a burn, sand out the hourglass type situation. 30 seconds to go right here. The Wildcats actually just shut out Wichita North in game number 3. It would be so interesting if the Red Hawks were able to do that in a game 4, and even better, right? 2-0 versus 1-0.
Yeah.
A lot of danger right here. Oh. Middle of the pitch right now, AJ. Voice this one on over. They know as well as everybody else that the Wildcats have. Basically have to score like right now. And
that backflip's not going to help them, unfortunately. Nice clear by BDN, though.
It might be 2-1, might be 1-2. This one's going to be 2-0 for Wichita, and we're going to be seeing plenty of extra Rocket League. This was a best of 7 that boiled down to a best of 5 after game 2. And back and forth we have gone since then. A best of 7 boiled down to a best of 5, and now, essentially, a best of 3. Wichita has 0 saves. 0 saves. I think that should tell you guys enough about just what the time of possession, the offensive opportunity was here. Go to a very short break, folks. Let these teams kind of figure out what it is that they want to do, what they want to recreate in a game 5 after such a close series has been boiled all the way down. Go forth, hydrate, use a restroom. We're going to have a couple of minutes and have the action back on here for you for High School Esports League, powered by Generation E. Hello and welcome back. 60 seconds into this one and missed a Wildcat score. We apologize for it. Well, we're going to make up for it, though, as we're going to give you the new Rocket League map here in map number 5. The first game in this essentially new best-of-3 series. FBI Tugboat with my man Squillis. Squillis, you with me?
I'm here with you.
I'm glad. I get lost and lonely without you. Jaden right here going to be tying this one up after about a minute and 16 to play.
It was a good pass from North. Whether it was meant to be a pass or meant to be a shot, it paid out regardless. And it's gonna be a tie game going into the third minute, or sorry, into the second minute here. And it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a much closer game already. It looks a lot more evenly paced.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this one's got to be after shutout of Wichita North in Game 3, shutout of the Worcester Wildcats Game 4. Game 5, I'm fraught to make any sort of predictions right here because we've seen such back and forth play, which is both a result of teams playing well and then also the result of the other team just kind of not really coordinating the same way that they'd want to.
It's definitely looking like a much more aggressive Wildcats here. I'm seeing 2 people up front past mid. I'm seeing some rotations back, which usually they already are. It looks like they're here to actually play and here to win and attack, it looks like. So hopefully we'll see a higher scoring game.
I don't know. I'm not against it, right? What, 5 scores first game, 4 the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Average, I'm going to say, is about 3 maybe? 3 or something like that. Not 100% sure. But hey, there's the third right now. The Wildcats take the lead back after getting shut out. Game number 4, 13 seconds outside of halftime. Shire Lord puts this across the bow of 2 different players. Just kind of letting them know that he's there.
He is there to play, and it's what I was saying. BDN was also moving up in that play, going towards the other team's net.
Okay. Another open net off a kickoff right here. Saw like 2 or 3 of those in the previous matchup. Now Wichita North strikes it back up as BDN AJ right there. Just going to kind of be left flying in on that ball.
That is always unfortunate. It's happened to me before. It's happened to me before a lot. You just try to flip too fast and you end up miles in the air. But it is usually going to end up with you being scored on very, very fast, which is exactly what happened.
100% here, Squillis. Halftime. North flips up at this one. Doesn't get a hand on it. Hades does. AJ sent into the ceiling right there. Would be glad he didn't break out the top of it. Shire Lord.
Good attempt.
Trying to posture up against North. That just kind of like got over the back of him, but I think how far they had cheated up, it's kind of I've assumed that one might have happened. AJ, that's not going to be on, but the second one could have been. Oh, what could have been? It'll keep you up at night, Squillis.
It will. It absolutely will. Especially if they end up losing the series. That one will definitely be shaking him for a while. But it is still a tied game, 2-2 in the series, so it could be anybody's series, honestly. Especially with 2 shutouts, 1 for each team.
Trying to remember yes. Of all the words, mouth and pen, these are the saddest it could have been. Oh well. Oh well. Still tied up right here, though. There's plenty of time left in this one. We're getting philosophical out here on y'all. 2-2. 90 seconds left. Teams are kind of trading possessions back and forth. That's a decent centering shot. Orang is forced to play it and does. Right side, then gets interacted with a couple different Wichita North players down bottom. Gets it past both of them. Still even has a little bit of boost as well. Foisted back on over towards AJ. Hades redirects that one. Charlotte, the last Wildcat back, does get a hand on it and sends this one flying. Pressure against Wichita. That's 2 players flipping at this one now with nothing. Centering play. Gets this past 1. Shirelord. Orang. Okay. Nicely done. Shirelord has been the defensive powerhouse thus far. This game number 5.
I'm seeing what I like to refer to professionally, as I am a professional caster, as sketch on the field right now, with lots of players missing, a lot of players bumping their teammates, not really knowing where they're going. I think that everyone's a little nervous about how this game might end, trying not to be the ones that won't be the ones to take it to overtime.
Yeah, Jaden actually going to get punished for their pensiveness right there. Kind of a low run out. They don't like the look of it. Immediate demo. Now we're back to 3-3 as of right now, but BDN, AJ, and the rest of the Wildcats can't go into this OT scared, man. They simply can't.
No, I think usually what happens in this type of situation, you get to the overtime, you kind of take a deep breath and say, all right, let's go for kickoff, let's score off kickoff, and let's call it a day. And everyone kind of steals their nerves, and we should see a much more
I mean,
solid play.
Nobody winning or losing off the back of this one. This is tied 2-2. Nice stop. No, kind of okay. Jaden could have made that, turned that into something beautiful. Spun gold from straw. Having to get back to it. Not gonna matter. The Wildcats get this after a little bit of pensiveness from a player to go forth and rotate. This is going to be the same scoreline that we saw in game number 1 and in the same overtime fashion here, Squillis.
The Wildcats have just been, so far this series, been playing very defensively, but this was the first time that they've kind of stepped up, had 2 in front of mid, and were attacking, and I think it definitely paid off for them, having lost 2 of their last games in the series, because they opened with a win, then have lost 2 since, whatever. I think this is a good sign for them. I think that they might not even need to take this to a game 7 if they can play the same way that they have been as of the last game. I mean,
well, so this one, same kind of situation. The difference in the shot totals, only 3, 8 for Wichita, 5 for the side of the Worcester Wildcats. But the big difference comes in with the saves yet again. I believe that was 5 or 6 saves coming in from the Worcester Wildcats that did take that game in overtime fashion, and only like 1 from the Wichita squad out of Kansas here. These are numbers that you cannot simply allow to have happen, especially in a game 6 where we're finally on match point.
the Wildcats definitely
Series point.
Yeah, the Wildcats were definitely on defense more that game. The Wichita definitely had some more possession, had more shots for sure. But those saves and those conversion plays are really what kept them in that game. And that overtime, it's just a wide open net banged all the way down the field that got them the win.
Bang, 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 bang. That's really dangerous. I have no idea why other Wildcats play. I mean, this is bouncing up right here. What do you think is going to happen? They can't even get like that angle to go the other way. I really hope that the Wildcat offense here is not going to show pensiveness like that just because it was early.
Hopefully they are not too nervous about it being series point, like you said, and are gonna.
I'm nervous enough, okay? This is a long series. They can't afford to be nervous.
That's what I'm saying. They've got a game to win right here. They've got a series to close out.
Wichita's got a game to take back right here. Boil a best of 7 to a best of 5 to a best of 3 to a 1 and done. A sudden death. It's exactly what the Redhawks want right here. Big, massive clear right here. And Orang just gives him right back the way. It's a little bit of rebounding play. Shirelord has been playing kind of like a goalie the past game and a half, really. Not really coming out of this one very often, where we frequently see them on the defensive side, especially of these high-flying offensive shots.
That's what he was doing the first game too. I didn't bring it up because he started coming out, but for the first probably minute 45 of that first game we played, he was kind of just sitting in park and net for the whole time, which ended up paying off for him. They won in that overtime just like last game, but I'm hoping that we will see some Shirelord aggression potentially.
Speaking of, Shirelord tries something off the right wall right here. Unfortunately, doesn't get the backflip or even just sets it up for Jaden and Orang, the teammate here, who's getting a front row seat to the first goal in this one. 90 seconds in, pretty standard, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a stark contrast to what we saw last series where both teams were always there were already 4 points scored at this point. Ooh, not gonna go in, but it's definitely a much more even matchup here in this series. So hopefully we'll see some more consistent score lines for the rest of the series.
Rest of the series could be short. Rest of the series at max is 2 more games after this one. Again, I'm not making preds here, folks, even though we have a mild lead. Shire Lord offense. Oh, there we go. The defender coming on out. That's going to be Shire Lord putting up first goal for them. And the Wildcats in a tied game 6.
And it's going to be just like all the other games. It's going to be a close one, I think. I think that everybody's fighting for their spot right now, which I love to see. I love that they have so much care for winning the series.
Here's another one for you folks. Okay, Jaden. Methodical defensive stop and clear. Now, driving backwards usually is not the move. But here's another quick stat for you guys. No team has enjoyed a 3-score lead in this series so far. 6 games. 6 games. We've seen a couple 2-score leads, a couple of those insurance goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second one. Nicely done from Jaden. It's Shire Lord defensive for the Wildcats. It is Jaden for the Wichita North squad, 100%. Those rolls made themselves clear. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It's close for us here on the desk. I can only imagine how they're feeling.
Yeah, true. I think that just the teams are so on the topic of no one having more than a 2-point lead. The teams are just so evenly matched right now. They're both playing some pretty strange play styles. Is this one gonna nice save? But
No.
they're both playing some weird play styles here where Wichita is trying to be aggressive, but they're a little hesitant, and the Wildcats are trying to play like super uber defense the whole time, and not really trying to go across mid.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about how evenly matched and how similar these teams are. Talk to me a little bit more about some of the differences that might spell out wins and losses between these two teams while we're at mid-pitch.
It's just gonna come down to like 50s and rotations again. Honestly, like most of this game, people think is like, oh, I need to put in 800 hours into free play, and I need to learn all the new mechanics, all the new flip resets. I need to learn zap dash, but you don't. You need to learn how to play with your teammates, how to play around your teammates, and more importantly, where to be.
Ooh, there you go. Now it's Jaden again. Defenders here, kind of spelling out the offensive difference. I can 100% agree with you, though, Squillis. Back to basics, right?
Absolutely.
You know, both of these teams playing very, very clean. It's just about cleaning up those edges of the paper, right? That last like just handful of percentage points, the couple quarter-second differences in offense. Oh my goodness, Jaden almost puts in a screaming ball from mid-pitch again. The Wildcat defense holds strong, though, as of right now. Got 40 seconds for the Wildcats to tie this one back on up. Otherwise, Wichita is going to push us to a game 7.
And it looks like that might be what we're seeing, as the Wichita is not really giving up possession of the ball. That's going to be an unfortunate whiff. It's going to go. All right, it was going center. I was a little worried there, but Jaden's got it covered as per usual. He's going to take it back mid to his team. Oh no.
Ooh, oh man, AJ. Wow, wait. So the Wildcats are still holding back on this one. They need to come up and they need to get offensively. A loss of 1, a loss of 2, a loss of 10 doesn't matter, especially in a situation where they need it. And Demo's right here getting purchasing what the Wichita North squad needs. So a Wildcat team that almost seems pensive to get into offense throughout a lot of that at the time when they need to get in offense. There's literally no other game plan that makes sense. The last 20 seconds or so, nothing. Jaden gets all the saves, all the shots, all the goals right here. Hades, only other player on the Wichita squad that even comes out with a stat. That's a single save right there. Much more evenly handed for the Worcester squad. 5 shots attempted from BD and AJ, and he's not even the highest scoring right here. Shire Lord, again, got a lot done defensively. Going to be the only one for the Worcester Wildcats. Is going to be able to put up a goal for their squad in the game number 6.
And what I'd like to point out is that Shire Lord was kind of hanging back the whole time that game, and he was the only one that scored, and he had no saves. And I think that if Wichita, if the Wildcats can stop the hesitancy, stop the I think it's honestly coming down to nerves. This is early in the season. This might be a new team comp even. There's a lot of factors at play that we don't know that could be making
Mhm.
them a little nervous, a little skittish to go for the ball. I think if they can kind of turn that off and start playing a little more aggressively, we'll see a very Wildcat heavy game.
Can definitely agree with you there. Especially, I think that is most succinctly shown in the last 20 seconds or so of the Worcester Wildcat offense at the end of game one. That looked like a true angle. AJ tries to make it so. Left side corner right now, North. Gonna try and get this one out. An attempted pass to Hades, but it's broken up in the middle. Jaden again with a defensive save, throwing Epic on top of that one, scoreless. They've earned it.
It looks like AJ is kind of the only one on the field for Wildcats so far.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, cannot be surprised at this when, like you said, it just seems like Orang and Shirelord playing in the back a whole lot, defensive stuff, and then when Wichita gets crazy offensive and puts on a lot of pressure, that's going to be the first goal 27 seconds into this one. Big, nasty, disgusting pinch. That is going to be a really good thing for the Worcester Wildcats that was just not like, an inch, a couple pixels shorter.
Yeah.
Or lower, I should say.
I think that another problem with how the Wildcats are playing their defense specifically is they're not really jumping. They're kind of staying on the ground. They're waiting for the ball to land on them or come to them when they are just and what they're doing is they're giving the Wichita North a lot of time to shoot, to do anything, to double, whatever they're trying to do. And they're just not jumping. They're leaving net actually and rotating back through instead of just jumping and going for the ball, giving their teammates some time.
AJ to Jaden. Sound like a broken record at this point. It's always Jaden in the back. Pretty much always AJ getting this one going offensively. North rounding round. Shatter breaks it up. AJ is going to get a hand on this one as well. Mid-pitch we go until Jaden picks this one up with 100 boost as well. Tries something. Orang meets them there, and there's the aerial acrobatics that we were looking for from the Wildcats. AJ again. Aerial acrobatics. Shirelord going to tee off on this one. That just goes to mid-pitch and actually more of a weaker clear. North continuing it on, but AJ uses the sidewall to send this one back. Hades puts it between Orang and their teammate, and now it's AJ yet again getting this one off. That's not going to be centered, but Jaden's still going to play it.
This has been AJ's series as far as the Wildcats. He has been up front, he's been shooting, he's been clearing, he's been doing it all so far. And as I say it, he's going to put one right into the middle of the net off of 50. He has been really the only player on the Wildcats who has been chasing the ball down and really playing the game.
It's like ball chasing, like a pejorative kind of within, but you're 100% right, and somebody's got to do it.
Absolutely.
Here for the Wildcats. Now that's going to be a tying factor 20 seconds outside of halftime. Will they hold on to it? Will we see another 3-score game? Will this be the game that finally just breaks out and we see 9 total scores or something like this? Ends in a 6-3 or a 5-4 or something like this. I don't know. Again, we're usually pretty comfortable making predictions, but I don't have any information, especially as Orang, again, AJ kind of shows them how it's done. Put 2 back-to-back in the past 20 seconds or so. Jaden, can't quite get to that one. 1-score lead here for the Wildcats, but as we know, scoreless, a lead of 1 is no real lead indeed in the great game of Rocket League.
Never. It never has been and it never will be. Especially with these two teams. They're always back and forth with each other through this series. That first game was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 1-2.
It's actually a good point. This is the opposite of a sweep, right? This was Wildcats first, Wichita second, Wildcats third, Wichita fourth, Wildcats fifth, Wichita sixth. Back and forth we go, all the way through.
And it's been very low-scoring games. I mean, it was 3-1 was the biggest point differential, and it was that game.
3-2, but yes.
3-2, sorry, yeah. The highest-scoring game, highest whatever. And that was...
Yep. And they were both in overtime.
Yeah. And that was, game 1 in 4, I believe?
1 and 5.
1 and 5.
But yes.
But it's just, these have been very, very close games through the series so far.
And both for the Wildcats as well. If we start boiling this one down, Wichita, their wins in Game 2 and Game 4 right there, are 2-score leads. So, if we take a 1-score lead and then negate it down a little bit farther, given that they take it into overtime, right? Kind of take the hockey rules into it, that you still get some credit for taking a loss if it is in overtime, then I'm going to have to say there's like a little bit of an edge coming into this for Wichita, just based on the information, the points that we have on the board. But Wildcats, this double defense has shown to, it is working here. Not sure if it'd work in another Rocket League game, but it's working right now.
It's just an interesting play styles from both teams. Again, they're both a little. This game, at least, Wildcats have sort of turned it on, and they've been leaving their side of the field a little bit more, having a little bit more pressure. But it's really just been BDN this whole series who's been getting these conversions and these clears and taking it down the field for his team. And I wonder if he's going to be continue to be the deciding factor of the series as we come down to the end of it.
30 seconds as of right now. Nice clear there from Orang, back to the middle. Jaden picking this one up. Everybody on Wichita realizing a little bit later that, again, got to pour it all into offense as of right now. Wichita's got to get this one. Is that on point? No, it's not. 3 players for Wichita North are back. And now this might be the last offensive push that we see from the Wichita Redhawks from the top rope. Hades almost does it. Jaden's there. No! That's probably going to yield the second goal. Doesn't even matter. The Worcester Wildcats are going to thread the needle on this one. Again, the double defense coming out, showing true. And what a Game 7 series we have. Also, how interesting is it? AJ has 5 shots on. AJ has 5 shots on. Orang has 2. Both of them with a goal. But it's going to be Shirelord with the 3 saves and the most points on the side.